It's an open secret that the Kenyan Gen Z has sparked a fire in the hearts of African youth across the continent, compelling them to stand up for their rights. Their fearless and audacious defiance against the supposedly corrupt Kenyan government has emboldened young people in other African nations. In a recent turn of events, the Kenyan Gen Z has once again made waves by issuing a stern warning to the Kenyan president. This came on the heels of President Ruto's televised remarks, which have provoked intense frustration and resentment among the Kenyan Gen Z. During a recent televised interview, Ruto addressed the regrettable violence that occurred following the passing of unpopular tax increases. He announced a change in his stance, expressing his willingness to listen to the people and stating that he wouldn't sign the finance bill into law. The violent incidents resulted in 19 casualties, marking the first official figures released by the authorities. Ruto assured a thorough investigation into the fatalities. While Ruto emphasized the peaceful nature of the demonstrations that turned violent, he also acknowledged the unfortunate turn of events and conveyed his disapproval. He distanced himself from any association with the bloodshed and emphasized the necessity of upholding democratic ideals. Assuring accountability, Ruto pledged to investigate each casualty and address any potential police misconduct. In the interview, Ruto lauded the efforts of law enforcement in managing the situation, affirming that any instances of undue force would be appropriately addressed. He emphasized the responsibility to bring to justice those responsible for attacking the parliament and judiciary, highlighting the use of surveillance footage to identify perpetrators. Ruto's assertion of capturing those involved in the violence underscored the swift action intended to uphold the rule of law and address the criminal actions that transpired. Upon revisiting his decision to withdraw the finance bill at the 11th hour, Ruto expressed, "It signifies a setback of nearly 2 years, indicating that the government would need to heavily rely on borrowing." The recent confrontations mark an unprecedented occurrence in the country's history since gaining independence from Britain in 1963. On Saturday, a modest assembly gathered at Uhuru Park in downtown Nairobi in response to a call issued through the media. Following a session of singing, candlelighting, and waving Kenyan flags, the demonstrators voiced their chants while proceeding past the hospital where several injured protesters were receiving medical care. The protesters disbanded peacefully towards the late hours of the afternoon.